Has this happened to you? You turn on your electric cooktop and it's either all the way on or all the way off. A common cause of this is the infinite control switch, which goes bad. In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace it and save some money at the same time. It's actually a really simple thing to do, and if you call a service person out to your house, it's probably going to cost $150 to $200 or more to have them replace it. First, just pull out the stove and, of course, disconnect it from power. Once it's disconnected from power, just remove the screws on the back and take off the cover. Here I'm using this really cool tool that my wife got me for Christmas. It's a gyroscopic screw gun that goes forward or backward depending on how you turn your wrist. We saw it when a person came out to our house to fix our refrigerator, so of course we had to get that tool. Once you've removed the screws, carefully remove the backing that's on the stove. Be careful because it's punched out sheet metal and it can be pretty sharp. And then on the back of it, you'll see all the switches and wiring. But don't worry, it's not really that complicated. Our control switch is the one that's on the far left, and it's essentially like a volume knob on a radio. When you turn it towards high, the burner stays on longer, and when you turn it down low, it cycles back and forth to regulate the heat. What happens is they go bad and they just turn all the way on or all the way off. So just remove the two screws that's on the front and it will pull out from behind. There are two modular plugs that are on the back. You don't even need a screwdriver. Just unplug those off the back and take note of where they went. They're kind of directional, so it's hard to put it back together incorrectly. We have a Whirlpool oven, but most of the controls are made by Robert Shaw. There's a number that's on the back of it, and if you look on the back of that switch, you can see a black spot. That's kind of where it probably arced or wore out over time. Anyway, there's the number that's on there, and I just went on to Amazon and ordered a new one, and it was like $49 and was here the next day. They also included this little brass lug, but I didn't end up using it, so I don't really know what it was for. And of course, Winston likes to supervise all repairs in the kitchen. I double-checked the numbers just to make sure that they matched up with the existing part, and they did. And then once I had confirmed that, I just pushed the connectors back on. They're kind of directional, so you really can't put them on incorrectly. You can see that they're kind of, one is shaped kind of like an S and the other one wraps around, and they have little pieces that are molded into the side, so you really can't put it on backwards. Once you have that installed, you need to locate which part of the switch is up. And by that I mean when you turn the knob, it will click into the off position. The switch is designed to be rotated around, and it can actually be installed 360 degrees. It has screw holes all around it. So once you locate where the up side is, in this case, where the knob has the line on the top, you put it back in place, and then there are two screws that will hold it where it's supposed to go. Otherwise, the knob will be turned off, and it will look like it's on, if that makes sense. Another thing I noticed is with this replacement part, the shaft on the switch was a little bit longer than the others, and when I put the knob back on, it stuck out a little bit. So I guess it fits different applications, but I wanted it to make sure that it fit flush like the other one, so what I did is I just took a hacksaw and cut that little knob off, and then everything fit correctly. Finally, you put the back of the oven back together, and actually that's the part that took the longest because it's held in place with a bunch of screws that are kind of lined up while squeezing one thing to another. So it actually took longer to put the back of the cover of the oven on than it did to replace the switch, which I thought was interesting. Finally, plug the oven back into the wall and slide it into place. It's also a good opportunity to clean behind the oven because you'll probably not be pulling it out again for a while. And in just a couple minutes, everything is back to normal and you're not incinerating food on the cooktop. Plus, you save yourself some money.